Okay, today I'm going to go over 2 learning goals for Chapter 4, how to calculate the present value of a payment made sometime in the future, and how to move cash flows from one year to another. So go ahead and get started. I have a couple example problems set up here. So first question we're going to do for learning goal 4 is try to calculate the present value. And the question is, what is the present value of a $500 payment made 1 year from now when the discount rate is 11.52%? Okay, so let's just go ahead and draw the cash flow diagram. So I'm going to go down here and go to line style, thick border. So it says 1 year from now. So a payment is going to be made 1 year from now. So that would mean money coming out of my pocket, right? So I would say, well, money's coming out of my pocket 1 year from now. So go back 1 year, and I want to know how much I'm going to get right now if I'm going to do that. Okay. So if I'm going to make a payment 1 year from now, how much is that worth to me right now? All right, so I'm going to hit escape to get out of that drawing mode. And here I'm going to put in $500. And here's what we want to know. We call it the present value. We want to know what that is. And 0, 0, and we put in the rate. The rate is 11.52%. Make sure you take that percent. That's basically what's going on. So this is a flow out of my pocket. What is my flow going to be in my pocket right now? I'm going to do that. Okay. We can do it in the order the calculator has it. It would be N, and R, and the present value, payment, and the future value. So your most financial calculators have it in that order. So my N is equal to 1. My R is equal to this 12.52%. My present value is what we want to know. Oh, sorry. Is what we want to know. The payment's 0 because there's no payments here. Instead of trying to, they're missing the terms a little bit. They're calling it a payment, but that's a future value, right? The payment, or maybe think of a series of cash flows. So we can call this future value. So this is coming out of my pocket. This is pointing down. So I'm going to say this is equal to a negative this because it's money coming out of my pocket. It's a cash flow out. And this is going to be a cash flow in. Okay. So I'm going to go here. What do we want to find? I guess what I should have done. Normally I do these problems. I'm going to go to row 2. I'm going to right click and go insert. I'm going to say given here. This is what we're given. And what we want to find the present value. So we could do it 2 ways. First, I'll do it using the equation of your book, or the finance equation. Let me do this. I already have it written here, so I'm going to put it here. Okay, so we want to use this equation here. The present value equals the future value divided by 1 plus r to the n. Okay, and so I'm going to say present value. So I'm going to say it's equal to, well, my future value is right here. Now, since this is a math equation, math doesn't really pay attention to these arrows flipping like Excel or your calculator would. So I'm going to go ahead and make that negative a positive. So I'm going to say negative this divided by parentheses 1 plus, and my r is right here, and then that goes to the n power, which is 1. Now, of course, if you're a mathematician, you know you don't really need to do that, but just we'll go ahead and do it anyway, because anything to the 1 power is going to be itself, right? And we're going to go ahead and make that as dollars. And we don't need that bold and underline. So that's my answer. Let me go ahead and put the equation in here. So you can see it. Alright, so we could also do using the Excel function. And if you use the Excel function, you go equals present value. And the first thing it asks for is the rate in bold down here. So I'm going to click on that. The number of periods is 1. The payment is 0. Or I could just hit another comma and just not put anything in. And now, like I told you, Excel does pay attention to the way these arrows are. So if I want this answer to be positive, I have to have this to be negative. So I just leave it negative and then close it. And so that's the Excel answer. If you're going to do it on the calculator, what you would do is first you want to clear it. So I'm going to go second, clear work, also clear the screen. And you just do it in the order we have here. So I go 1 is N, and then R, so I'm going to go 11.52. This I per Y is interest rate per year, is the same thing as our R. Okay, and then next thing is the present value is what we don't know, so I'll skip that one. The payment is 0, so it goes 0 payment, and then the future value is $500. Now remember, the calculator thinks like Excel, you need to have it negative. So I put that in for the future value. And then finally I'm going to compute the present value. So I'm going to go compute present value. And it's $448.35. That's the same answer we have there. Okay. We could do a similar problem. We could say, okay, what's the present value of a $500 payment made 5 years from now? So let's go ahead and draw that one. So it's going to be 5 years from now. So I'm going to go start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm making a payment 5 years from now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to give money. So what's that worth to me? What would I get right now if I'm going to make a payment 5 years from now? Or what would I? So this payment, what's it worth right now? Okay. So hit escape. Again, this is equal to 500. And this is your 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this present value is what we want to know. And R is equal to 11.52%. Okay? And we can just go ahead. I'm just going to, since we've done all this up here, this is the beauty of Excel. I can copy this down here and just modify it. So I'm going to paste this here. So now N is equal to 5. R is the same thing. It's still pointing there. It's all relative, right? The future value is equal to this 500, right? And then this, we can do this equation again. So it's a negative B31, that's right. 1 plus B28, that's right, to the B27, that's right. So $289. Okay. Now, what did I do wrong? I probably should have put this. I should have made this negative, right? Okay, so now that comes out. Alright, so yeah, so since all this is relative, all I had to do is make sure these are pointing to the right place, because it's pointing to here now. As long as these are pointing to the right places, it's going to calculate it out for you. So what's interesting, $500 5 years from now is only worth $289. $500 1 year from now is $448. So that shows the time value of money there, right? That's another example of time value of money. Okay, so let's look at the next learning goal. The next learning goal is move cash flows from one year to another. So we can go here to look at this problem. What is the value in year 6 of $1,500 deposited in year 10 at 12% annual interest rate? So let's draw this out. I'm going to go a little bit quicker. I'm trying to keep this, whoops, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to go a little bit quicker because I want to keep this video short if I can. You can always pause it if you want to duplicate. So this is 10 years, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's going to be deposited in year 10, so it's money coming out of my account. I go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is year 6. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now it says label these. This is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're depositing $1,500. And we want to know this. And this is actually a present value in our case, even though it's 6 years in the future. We want to know what this present value is. And we know the rate is 12%. Okay, so this is what we're given. And we can go ahead and put in N, R, PV, EMT, future value. So N is equal to, well, even though we're here, like, you gotta be careful with present value in the context of this problem, because we're here, but present value in the context of this problem is all 6 years. So the number of years is going to actually be equal to this many years minus this many years. So it's equal 4 actually. Right? And then the R is equal to this. Present value is what we want to know. The payment is 0. And then the future value is equal to a negative this. Right? Okay. So we want to find this right here. We want to find this right here. So for a solution, let's go ahead and use the equation first. So for a solution, we say the present value is it's equal to the future value. So I'm going to say a negative this to make it positive, divided by 1 plus R, this right here, to the horsepower, right? And make that dollars and cents. So that would be my answer using an equation. Okay, if we're going to use Excel, you can say the present value equals the present value, and we want the rate, number of periods, skip the payment, we don't have one, and then the future value, and that's the answer for Excel. Okay, so sometimes you got to be careful in these problems, because it says present value and you're thinking here, but it says what is the year value in year 6. So we just have to use it as present value. You have to take yourself in your mind out to year 6, and what's the present value here if I'm going to get this here. Okay. All right. So let's say let's do another one. So it says what is the value in year 10 of $1,500 deposit? It's $1,500 deposit in year 3 at 12%. So again, we have 10 years. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this one. So we can go, I guess we'll start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And we want to know the value in year 10. We want to know how much I'm going to get in year 10 if I deposit it in year 3 some amount. So this is year 1, 2, 3. So in year 3 I'm going to deposit some amount, and I want to know how much that's going to be worth in year 10. Okay, so I'm going to hit escape. Let me put 0. Let me put the numbers here. 0, the years. I forgot 3 here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So this is going to be here we're depositing. Okay, so here. Okay, so I got this backward. This is a deposit in year 3, right? So it's going to be 1,500. And R is 12%. That's what we're given. And we want to know what this future value is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. So n in this case, n is equal to 10 minus 3. So 7 years. R is equal to this 12%. Present value is equal to a negative this. Payments 0. And the future value is what we want to know. And we want to find future value. Okay, so let's use an equation first. Now this equation is going to be a little bit different than the one. So now we're not finding present value, now we're finding future value. So it's not going to be the same equation as the one above. Now it's going to be multiplied. So the present value is equal to the future value times that. Oops. I got this equation backwards. Let's see. The future value equals the present value. Okay. So I'm going to go future value, and it's equal to this times parentheses 1 plus this to the 7th power. Oh. Okay, and make that $. You get these little symbols like that. That means you need to make this a little bit wider. If you use Excel, the Excel function, the future value is equal to the future value. The rate is 12%. Number period is 7. Payment to 0. Present value is that. Okay. All right, so you could do a similar thing on your calculator on this one. Let me clear it. Clear the work. So n is 7, so I go 7 n. Oh, try to clear that again. 7 n, and then the next thing we want is r. 12 is r. Present value is 1,500, so I go 1,500. Change sign. Present value 0. Payment, and then compute the future value, and it's 3,316.02. Same answer. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do one last problem here. Comparing cash flows. So if we're comparing cash flows, so it says here, what would be more valuable? $600 a day or $725 in 3 years if the interest rates are 8%. Well, if there's no interest rate, then you just say, well, of course I want the $725. But if you could earn money on the $600, okay, then it's going to be worth more in the future, or you're discounting the $725 back to the present. The 8% is going to make this worth less now. So let's go ahead and draw this out. So we would receive So money today, if we deposited some money in the future, right? Okay, so this is basically what's going on. So when you hit escape, so you want to know if we have, you got to look at it this way. If we have $725, okay, and so we're going to deposit in the future. What's that worth to me right now? I can go here, 0, 1, 2, 3, and we'll go R. Interest rate is 8%, and that's what we're given. And go bold and underline. All right, and then we can go in here and put N, R, PV, PMT, future value, and N is equal to 3, R is equal to 8%, present value is equal to the negative this, payment is 0, and the future value is what we want to know. Oh, I got that backwards, right? Present value is what we want to know, and the future value is equal to a negative this. Okay? So this is what we want to know. Alright, so for a solution, or what we're going to find, we want to find the present value. What's that worth? Okay? And then once we compare that, we can say, well, is that higher or lower than the 600? Alright, so for a solution, using the equation, we say the present value is equals the future value, or negative this, because we make that positive, divided by 1 plus n is 3, right? Oh, that should be R to the n of 3. Make that dollars. So that's my answer. So $725, 3 years in the future, is worth $575.53 if you discount it back at 8%. And they're saying which is worth more, $600 or this? Well, I'll take the $600, right? Rather than this, 3 years in the future. Okay, we can use Excel also to figure it out. So the rate is here, number of periods is here, payment here, future value here. And you can do Excel just quickly, maybe even quicker. So what's my answer? Well, take the $600 a day is worth more than 725 years from now at 8%. Okay, so hopefully that helped. Again, I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but hopefully it was helpful anyway. Thank you, bye.